Good morning, you guys. So today is day 13 of Vlogmas, and yeah, it's kind of still snowing outside. Today I decided to do something a bit different because I figured why not record myself getting ready. And yeah, you guys see what because I know that I'm not gonna have time to vlog today, and so I figured why not actually get ready with me. So anyway, so that's what we're gonna do. So my skin has been acting a bit weird lately. I mean, I know part of it is that I wasn't eating properly, and then the other half is just, it's just, yeah, it is what it is. Like I broke out on my chin twice, so like I have these two dark spots. It's hard to see now, but like here's one. It's because I was using this oil. So this is a normal, like, it's a black seed rose hip oil, and this is probably actually one of my favorite oils to use. But for some reason, and I always use it in the winter time, not in the summer obviously, but for some reason it actually was breaking me out, and I've never broken out because of these oils and stuff. So I just figured maybe my skin is not yet ready for something that rich or that oily. So yeah, so that kind of sucks. So I guess I'm off oils for a little bit, or at least off that oil. I'm still using oils, come on. This is the toner that I use daytime. You can't see it, I'm not gonna bother, but it's basically a brand, like the Face Shop brand, which is pretty much what I use all the time, you know that. So for my morning routine in the fall, like when it's cold outside, I like to use this because it has a bit of a moisture to it. Like, so it's not just like water based, it's like it's got a bit of an oil base to it. I usually actually start doing my face with I throw out the bottle, but I use that Clean and Clear astringent, and I've always used that and it works perfectly for me, to be honest. So what I usually do is I use that first, and then I use the whatever toner of the day is. So like in the morning I use this toner, or in the wintertime I'm using this toner. But when it's summer I use, or when my skin is like super greasy, I use this one, which is also by the Face Shop, and it's the Volcanic Lava toner. So whenever I'm feeling like a bit greasy, that's when I use that. So today it's been a little bit weird because I read this article on the internet. So I read this article about this girl, this Saudi girl, who, her name is Malak Al Shehri, I think it is. I can't remember, but if you Google it, you'll find the article, I'm sure. But she posted pictures of herself wearing a full dress, like a skirt or something, and a jacket and sunglasses. To me, it didn't look actually like suggestive in any way. Not that that even matters, because that's besides the point. But she was wearing a dress, a pretty long dress, and boots. But then, because in Saudi you're not allowed to do that, it was a problem. So for my skin I use the same serum. It's a same again from the Face Shop. I have a skincare routine where I show you this already, but it's my favorite serum from them. And I heard that they might have discontinued it, which I'm kind of upset about. So I need to come, you know, to find out what I should be using next, because I'm almost out, completely out. But anyway, so back to the story. So the girl, she just posted this picture on Facebook, on Instagram, and then next thing, girl got arrested, you guys. Like, it's pretty crazy. Like, she actually got arrested because it's against the law for Saudi girls or women to not wear their I don't know whether you call it a niqab or, but basically like they wear full-on like cover. I don't know if that's called a burqa, I'm not too sure. But my cousin is Muslim, but she doesn't wear she doesn't cover up completely. She just wears the hijab. Or sometimes she might wear, like when she's not working or whatever, she wears like black robe, but her face is out. So this girl got arrested, you guys, and she's 21 years old, and she's facing yeah, she's facing some serious situation. Like I mean, there's even talks of her being beheaded because of this, which I hope the international community kind of talks about it more, which is kind of why I'm talking about it, because I mean, it's just like, I mean, I have respect for everyone and their religion. Oh, I don't normally use this contouring situation. Like, I don't use things about contouring, but this is a MAC palette, and this is in medium. I don't know how I got this. It's a medium deep. I think I'm actually supposed to go with something a bit darker than this, but I don't know why the person in the store gave me this, seriously. But I bought this last year and I've barely used it, but I am using it because I have dark spots. But my everyday look, I normally don't even bother with this, to be honest. But I'm using this orangey color to go over the dark spot that I was talking about. But anyway, so this girl is facing this whole like beheading situation potentially, and all because she wore like a skirt, you know? Like, I mean, I definitely have understanding and compassion for people's belief systems, but I think my line almost stops when it becomes like punitive, you know? Because I think God, if you believe in God, whatever God form you believe in, ultimately I don't think that he's, or she is out there trying to get people like, you know, beheaded. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's the end goal. The end goal, I think, is about compassion and like, you know, that sort of thing. But anyway, it just makes you kind of grateful for like what you have. Or, you know, I always talk about being born on the right side of the fence. I mean, I'm an immigrant in Canada, but it's just every day I'm so thankful that my mom brought us here and didn't take us somewhere else, although we have lived in many other countries. But I mean, I'm just grateful that this is where we ended up, because I can't imagine what it would be like. I don't want to seem like I'm being judgmental, but that's just, it just makes me feel. Oh, I forgot to prime my face, but normally when I prime my face I use this. The reason why I'm not priming my face is because I'm not using a cream foundation. I only have one of two foundations really that I use on a daily. I use the powder foundation, which is what I'll be using today. This is the one that I love the most from Maybelline. It's their Dream Velvet one. And I also use their liquid mousse sometimes. And I also use their matte poreless one. This one is my least favorite because it's kind of greasy. Even though they call it matte poreless, the coverage is pretty like okay for me because I don't wear so much foundation, but it kind of like smudges on you. Like if you do this on your clothes, it's like all over the place. So ain't about that life. Oh, the one I use like for when I'm doing something special is this one. So like when I'm actually wearing makeup is the Estee Lauder Double Wear, which is my favorite at this point. I haven't tried anything else like NARS and whatnot that people talk about, but next year, you guys, I'll be better at makeup. But yeah, for today I'm not doing any of that fancy stuff because I am basically using a powder foundation. But I think I'm going to add a bit of highlight to underneath my eye. And for that, I'm using, let me show you, I'm using this one. It's pretty light, to be honest, but we're going to see how it looks like. But yeah, so I don't know. Like I've just been thinking about that a lot, and I've just been like, the girl situation, I mean, and just feeling like, wow, like, it's crazy how, you know, when you live when you have the privilege of living somewhere where you can actually just be whoever you feel like being, I don't think people actually understand just how lucky that is. Like you know what I mean? Like sometimes we complain about, like, I mean, for people in America, for example, right now, the whole thing is about Donald Trump and like, oh my God, the world's coming to an end. And maybe it is, but sometimes when you just think about like the basics of someone's existence, like in this case, this girl, she's only 21 and she had probably just gone on a trip. I don't really know what she was doing in the UK, but you know, she went on a trip somewhere, and next thing she's just like in this situation. Like, do you know what I mean? I can't even imagine. It's just, so I'm using the powder now. Anyway, all this to say that if you live in a situation where you don't have the ability to just be who you want to be, you know, like if you live in a place where you kind of have to censor who you are or mute who you are to be there, you know, like I really, like, my heart really is with you, because it can't be an easy thing. Like, it can't be easy to, and sometimes you might even live, let's say in America or something, or in Canada or wherever you live, or even, you know, wherever country you live in, but maybe you come from a family that doesn't accept certain parts of who you are, or doesn't want you to be a certain thing or whatever. That's also really sad, you guys. Like, I think that's the hardest thing, and I don't really have any advice for that, except that, you know, I just wish it wasn't like that. So this is my favorite Sephora, like, it's like a blush brush, I think. I don't actually know anything about makeup, you guys, but this is like a Sephora thing. But yeah, so I was just saying, if you live in a situation where your parents or your siblings or whatever don't accept who you are or who you want to be, that is probably, guys, one of the hardest things anyone could ever go through. And I'm lucky because, yeah, my mom doesn't do that with me. Like, she's always been, every parent has hopes for their child, but I can definitely say that my mother doesn't ever make me feel like, or any of my siblings feel like, there's something wrong with who we are and everything. Like, I can't think of a situation where I should ever wake up and be like, disown me, or like be like, how can you be that person? Like, she just, I don't see it happening. And it's really just because, like, she just has such an extended heart, like, that way, which is something that I don't take for granted at all, because I know that many people come from families where there are those standards, like, set by the family, and then you have to kind of live up to them, and when you don't live up to them, there's so much drama, you know? And this is not to say that I don't have pressure in my family. I definitely do have pressure in my family, but it's a very different type of pressure, and it's a different type of expectation. So it's not like if I decided to become a singer today, like, my mom wouldn't be like, what's wrong with you? Like, you're throwing your life away. Like, she wouldn't do that. For the record, I'd never say I want to be a singer, because I suck at that. But I'm just making a point. And I think when you come from a situation where you have parents or family members who have a difficult time accepting things like that about you, then I think you really just have to, like, find ways of legitimizing that part of yourself. Like, because you can't, I mean, of course, if you live in a different country, I'm not gonna comment to that, because really, if it's the entire country that's against you that way, so in the case of this young lady, like, I think in that situation, I feel as though it's up to us, like the people outside of that country, to kind of advocate for people there. I come from a country where human rights are at issue, like as in, or have been an issue before, and I don't think it's that easy for people to, you know, fight for themselves when they're in the system, like within that oppressive regime, just because, you know, there's a lot of like threats that happen in reality. And so you can't just like say, yeah, I'm gonna be defiant and I'm just gonna go on the street and like protest. Like, I mean, in those countries you don't have the privilege of protesting, you know, like you just have to accept the cards you're dealt with, kind of thing. And I say that it's more like figuring out what your exit strategy is, you know. Like for my family, we came to Canada as refugees, so I mean, I'm not saying everyone should migrate to a different country, but that was a form of rebellion in a way, right? Like that was a form of saying, I don't want or I can't live in this country. I mean, we're not coming from Zimbabwe, like it's a different story, guys. But I think, I don't know, like I just think like if you live in that situation, then coming up with an exit strategy is probably the best thing if you can't adhere to the laws of the place, or like if you live in a country that doesn't allow you to express yourself in a certain way and you feel like that's essential to you, then part of it is actually making that decision to leave, you know, which is probably easier said than done. But if it's impeding on your life in that significant way, then sometimes that's the best thing to do. I'm not advocating for people to leave their families because I can't do that. But anyway, but if you live in a country, let's say, that does, it's not like the whole country is against you or whatever, then I would say something like, you know, if you live in a country, just find people who are going through similar situations like you. You know, like if you say live in Canada and then you're having problems with your family, like because of, I don't know, your sexual orientation or something like that, and you really feel like, you know, this is important to you as it should be, then you just find people who are going through the same thing. Because nowadays, thanks to the digital age, there's a lot of like different ways of like getting, you know, the help that you need without necessarily disclosing who you are. Do you know what I mean? So you could actually have an online community of people that support you without ever meeting them. So we're super fortunate to actually live in a time where that's possible. At least, of course, if you live in a country where internet is monitored and censored and whatnot, then of course that's different. But I'm talking about if you live in a sort of Western country, or in many developing countries where there's that sort of freedom or autonomy, then you can get supports from people on the net who are also going through the same thing as you are. Because you shouldn't really go through things like that alone, you know? Like, yeah, it just breaks my heart when I realize just how lonely the world can be for people who don't fit into their families and people who don't fit into like their societies. It's like one of the loneliest feelings on earth, like, you know what I mean? Especially if you're young. Like, I mean, I'm much older, so, and I guess I've always been pretty self-reliant, and like I've never really had like friends or the whole concept of best friends and that sort of thing. That's never really been my thing. I guess for people who do have to deal with that situation, like, and then you don't have people to turn to, it's so hard. And anyway, I don't know, I just felt like talking about that today. I don't know why. Yeah, I think really looking for people who are going through the same thing as you are is the best thing you can do for yourself. I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's definitely hard to step out of yourself, and like it's really hard to step out and just be like that and open and vulnerable. I'm like not the queen of vulnerability, but it's something I'm learning to do. So learning to be more open with people and like more, just more like authentic. That's what it really comes down to, because I think when you're not open and when you're not vulnerable, there's always going to be a layer between you and the world, you know? And because it's such a short life that we have, and an uncertain one too, it's just, it doesn't make sense to spend your entire life in solitary confinement, because really that's what it is. It's like when you're not vulnerable with people, and when you're not open, and when you don't reach out and lean in to help and like friends and that type of thing, and love, really that's what it is, then what happens is you're gonna die in solitary confinement. And especially because there's so many people out there, sometimes it's like, yes, you might not have the right people around you right now, but like it's possible to find them. That's the thing. Like I feel like we're living in a time where you could find your soulmates and your kindred spirits, like meaning whether it's about love or it's about it's just about, you know, friendship, like people who you just click with. Nowadays it's so possible. It's so possible to just meet people who reflect the values and the things that you want to see in yourself and in the world, you know? It's just a matter of actually stepping out and going there and doing it. So that's my rant for today. But yeah, like the whole story about Malak, and I'm using her name because I think when you use someone's name, it actually like makes it real when you use somebody's real name, as opposed to, oh, I heard that there's a girl, blah blah blah. It seems distant. But anyway, but this girl Malak, oh, I'm just using a lip and cheek stain, yeah, just to make my lips a little bit pink. But yeah, this girl, yeah, it just sucks. It just sucks to be in her situation right now, you know? Like it just sucks that she's having to go through this, and I am gonna keep following the story because it's one of those stories that, man. But in any case, I am pretty much done. I'm gonna use this. This is the Liz Watier. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it looks something like this. So I want kind of like a pinkish look today, a nude pink. Okay. Okay, so this is what the end look looks like, and I generally don't put any other items. I mean, I might put a bit of like blush, because blush is blush, but that's pretty much what I look like now. And yeah, I'm gonna just get ready and I'm gonna leave. But again, I'll say this: if you are living in a situation where you feel like you're stuck in everything and you're like you can't deal, like the best advice I can give you is to just try and find people who are going through a similar situation. Because if for anything, you'll be able to at least meet with people or like email with people who can understand and relate to what you're going through, rather than you feeling so alone by yourself, you know? So at the end of the day, like just yeah, I don't want to give like general advice or whatever, but I think it's so important to do that. And yeah, as for like Malak, the girl from Saudi, I think, yeah, like it sucks, and I hope that more people kind of push and keep talking about it, because then I find that the more people talk about things like this, unfortunately, that's when people do things to prevent it from happening. So like the more people talk about it internationally, the more maybe she'll have leniency in terms of the punishment that she gets. But I don't know, like it just really made me feel sad this morning because she's only 21, you guys, and this is just the beginning of her life. But anyway, yeah, other than that, I hope y'all having a good day. I'm not sure that I'm gonna have much to vlog today, which is why I did a get ready with me chit chat video, because I don't think I've got any time to vlog today, because I do have somewhere I'm gonna go later, and you know me, I don't vlog in public. But I'll try, like tonight I'll try and do that, but definitely during the day I don't really have anything to vlog because it's just work. But anyway, yeah, I hope you guys are having a good day. And oh, let me show you a close-up of what it looks like. Okay, so I'm still not that good at doing my eyebrows. As you can tell, like that was not good. See, they don't really look like sisters, they look kind of like cousins. But this is what the lip looks like. The dark spot is kind of gone. And that's it. So I'm gonna do my hair now, and then after I do my hair, actually for my hair I'm not even really doing much. I'm just like fluffing it up probably and putting some product in it. But I'm gonna sign off right now because I'm kind of late. But yeah, I hope you guys are doing good, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.